What was your introduction to like competitive gaming?
Kind of far back because like I didn't really start competing until Counter-Strike.
Okay.
But so basically like the whole point after high school, I was like, I want to go pro in a video game. So like the first game I saw was not actually Overwatch. It was Doom.
Okay.
The new Doom.
Yeah.
So I tried playing that. I was like, this game's gonna go big, man. I'm gonna go pro in Doom. and then everyone was like, it's dying, and I'm like, no, it's not dying, man. It's a good game, dude. And then nobody else liked it. So then I watched like people like Grego and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I guess I could try Overwatch when that goes in open beta. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think when I was just turning 18. So I was like at the very beginning.
Okay.
Or no, I think I was turning 18. But I was like, I don't know. That was like the beginning of Overwatch. Like, it was just because I wanted to go pro in a video game, and I didn't really care what video game it was.
So I got into Crossfire when I like first got my PC because it was a free game.
Okay.
And it was a shooter. That's why it attracted me right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got really good at it for some reason. I don't know like how. I was in high school around the time,
Okay.
And I just became really good at it. And one day, some guys hit me up, and they were like, hey, we want you to compete with our team at this tournament at New York Comic-Con.
Nice.
And this is when I was like 15 years old. And I'm like, nah, you guys are lying. Like, what do you mean? Like, stop lying about this. Because I didn't even know, I played like Halo tournaments like previously, but I didn't know that PC games were, popping off in that regard. Yeah. So then, I ended up being real. They showed me, like, I got a hotel booked for me and all this stuff at New York Comic-Con. I got my ticket, and then I was like, all right, well, maybe I should actually go.
Right.
And I ended up going. I went on like a road trip. My sister and her boyfriend at the time drove me there, actually. And I got them all passes to go to. That's when I knew it was like the real deal. And we ended up winning that tournament. And they're like, we're going to China now.
What?
Because it was like a qualifier. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So when I'm 15, going to 16, I'm already going to an international LAN event in China, competing, representing Team USA for Crossfire.
Right.
And I continued playing this game for like just years, going to China and like places like Brazil, just competing like internationally for a really long time, Korea. And eventually Overwatch was announced, and I was like, I was getting tired of my game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what, like I need something more, I need to go to the next level here.
Right. That's cool. What was your parents' reaction? Like, their 15-year-old son is gonna go to New York to play a video game. Like, what was that like for them?
I mean, they thought it was as fake as I thought it was. I was like, it was just unbelievable almost. And then okay, yeah, cool. We went to New York and I won in New York. And then, all of a sudden, I'm gonna go to China. And my mom was just like, no, like no way, like no, you're not going. Like they're trying to kidnap you or something.
Right.
I was like, no, this is real. Anyways, my dad ended up coming with me the first trip, and it was all legit, and it was just crazy. And once he saw, that environment that I was in, like the big crowds already, and he saw that you can make money doing it. He was like, listen, I always told you if you're gonna play video games all the time, make sure you get paid for it.
Right.
And that was my opportunity. So
nice.
I'll just give like a brief history of like how I started just competing in Overwatch in general. So I had this teammate, this guy that I knew from Crossfire. His name is Michael. Actually, he's a big Crossfire player at first. That's where I met him. Okay. And he's the one that actually got me. He introduced me into Overwatch. And he was like, "Dude, come in this game. It's gonna be huge."
Okay.
So I trusted him, and we made a team together eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And we started competing, and I think it was called like AG Weekly. It's pretty much like very, very amateur, like tier 3 type tournaments that we would just play in, and we actually went on like a 36 win streak.
Holy shit. Okay.
And around that time, finally we had our big break. There was this winter premiere series that they were about to come out with, which was like a big LAN that was going to be held at PAX South, and we ended up qualifying for it to make it to LAN, and we actually got second at that LAN. Nice. And after that, I was like, yeah, this is it, dude. This is it, bro. But then there was like no tournaments for forever. It felt like, like no real money in it. That was like the most money I won in Overwatch was through that tournament. And I was like in college, and I was like, wait, this actually isn't paying out at all. Like, what's going on?
Right.
So then, they kind of like announced Overwatch League a little bit, but there's no date, and everybody was just like in a limbo, like what do I do? Do I keep playing? Do I like wait for the thing to come out? Like, do we just sit here and keep grinding all day?
Right.
You know, and yeah, and then that's when Dogman got on my team, and like we did good in this. They announced Contenders, and we qualified for Contenders, and ever since then, like, yeah, it's just been good for us, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys seem like you have like good chemistry too. Does that come from being, you know, playing together on Kungarna, or is it just kind of like your personalities just match?
I mean, yeah, probably both, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
it's probably both. I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, me and Jay are pretty good friends. So it's like back then, like on Kungarna, it was a lot more like freeform and stuff. And like I think, like at the end of like Contenders, or like when Dre went to Overwatch League, and then I went to like stay in Tier 2 for a bit. It was like during that Contender season, like at the very beginning, that was when like every AL team was like kind of poaching players and stuff or whatever.
Right.
So it was like that Contender season was kind of like a wash, I guess, for the most part, because it was like everyone was getting picked up because we had Bishu, Remix, and Dre get picked up for Overwatch League.
Right.
And then everybody else kind of just like split off from the team. So it was like during that time, it was like Dre went to Overwatch League, and then I would stay in Contenders for like pretty much a whole year, I guess, up until like this last January, I think. And that in itself is like after the Overwatch League beginning of the season, Contenders kind of like fall off for like 6 months or something like that. But in that time, I played on a team with like Moth, and then with a couple other like really good players from the Tier 2 scene. Yeah, Nero,
Dalton.
Yeah, and like that team like dominated for like 6 months, but there was like also another like limbo kind of where there was like no tournaments and stuff to like compete in.
What point was it for you guys again that you found certainty in Overwatch, that you were like, okay, I can do this professionally again, like it's starting to pick up? Was it when Overwatch League finally started, or was it like at a later time?
For me, it was like when they announced like the Contenders thing, because we knew that the league was coming, and they finally had announced like, okay, there is going to be like some sort of tournament
right
for us, and like we're not just playing for no reason. So at least it like, you know, gave us motivation, and like we're like, okay, yeah, they actually are going to do this. So once that point hit, I really started taking it a lot more serious. Right. And like it was like my main focus for like forever. I was grinding like all the time, nonstop.
Right.
So we didn't have the best stage one. We didn't have the worst stage one, but we had the best stage one.
Right.
And you know, that like really hit my confidence hard, because I was like, I went into like huge expectations, because I'm coming from a Contenders team where like, you know, we try to be like insane no matter what. Like that was like the mentality of our team. Like we're gonna try to beat everybody no matter who we play. Right. Dogman knows we literally gave it our all.
Yeah.
We would go hard. And then like, you know, going hard and not getting the results that you want, that you're not happy with. Like I wasn't happy with the results that we had, which like if you do look at it, you can be like, okay, it's not a bad result, but I wasn't happy with the results that we had. Right. And I felt like I was performing really well, and then that got me. I got like an ego, and then I started just slowly falling off at that point, because I stopped putting in as much effort as I had done to like get in that spot. Right. And ultimately that led to me getting benched, and like for a good reason. And you know, when I was benched, that gave me a lot of time to think about, you know, I took a little bit of break. I got my mind right. And, you know, it made me realize, I'm like, yo, like, you're here for a reason, right? Like, make the most out of this. Give it all you got while you're here. And ever since then, I've just been hard grinding and motivated. And I don't really let stuff like that get to me. So
that's good.
It's like I think that like season one like experience like mattered, because I mean, like, because I didn't play in Overwatch League before this. Like when I was in like during that time in Contenders or whatever, if my team wasn't doing well or whatever, we could literally just explode the team, and then I could just go somewhere else. I could just join another team elsewhere or whatever, and I wouldn't have to like work through any like actual hardships for the most part. Like probably like the most hardships that I experienced was probably on Kungarna with Dre, when we like changed a couple players, and then we still stayed with the team for a little bit. But like that was like probably the most like hardship, I guess, overall that I had to go through before Overwatch League. So like I got that experience more in like stage 2, you know, like end of stage 2 or something like that. So yeah, it's just about getting over like that like motivation factor, but it's like I don't know, because there's like a lot that like you have to go through a lot of hardships as a team in Overwatch League, because you're with this team for a year and you're just trying to get better as a whole. So it's like it's there's gonna be challenges with like trying to get better throughout an entire year, with every team in Overwatch League, and the players with the experience from like last season and stuff have already gone through that, so they kind of know like what's gonna happen with that kind of stuff. And I didn't know, so now that I have that experience, I think it definitely was really beneficial.
Right. Yeah, it helps a little bit to have that. And I mean, what was that transition like for you, you know, coming from Contenders, you know, coming into the Overwatch League with a new team especially?
I mean, everybody like wants to say it's like super like hype and like and spicy, and I don't know, it's just like it's super fun to get in Overwatch League. But like I don't know, like at a certain point during Contenders or whatever, like because I didn't get in season 1. So at a certain point, I was like, you know what? I think I had an interview somewhere online as well that I was like, I don't really want to be in Overwatch League that bad. I want to be the best really bad. So it was like I changed my goal as a whole because it didn't rely on getting into Overwatch League. And it was like I didn't really see that as like my main goal. My main goal was like higher than that. So it was like looking past Overwatch League. So getting in Overwatch League was great and all. I was sick to be in it. Right. But I guess like I underplayed the factor of getting in the league as a whole, whereas I guess most players would be pretty excited and pretty hyped. I mean, I was like hyped and excited, but yeah, that wasn't my end goal, and it, you know, I changed my goal a long time ago.
And I think that's one thing that separates, you know, the good players and the great players is that mindset. Is there's a lot of people who just want to get into the Overwatch League, but then there's the players where you can tell they want to be the best and they perform like it. What was that experience like to transition teams?
It went a lot smoother than I thought it would. I thought, you know, I mean, we didn't do that bad. Like we could have been like an 0-7 team, right? It could have happened, but we didn't go 0-7 either stage. So,
man, what was it like, you know, with Defran leaving and Babybay coming in? What was that kind of transition like for you?
You know, I was excited for it's like a fresh start, I guess. Like any time like you change players or something like that, it's gonna be like a whole new experience. So, you know, I mean, I was pretty excited for like a change of environment and like, yeah, just anything new in a little bit, because like still this like Overwatch League team was like my first like big like professional team, I guess. Like the academy team is professional and stuff, but in comparison to Overwatch League, they're two different, like entirely different things. So yeah, I was excited for you know, to get Dragon on the team, and then also for like just a whole new start, a whole new stage to like reset and like try to win again. And although we didn't have like the best like last two stages, they were still good enough to put us in a good spot for this stage. And arguably, I know every team is going to say it, but arguably it is probably the best meta for us as a team. To just like constantly get better. So
yeah, this next meta is going to be really good for us.
Yeah. I'm excited to see
and every team says it for sure, but it's like, I guess for us it like definitely means like it rings true, I guess.
Right.
I think it was actually like a pretty good fit. I think like if you are gonna replace Defran with somebody, I'm probably the closest player you could replace him with.
Right.
Just like in terms of even hero pool. So I think it was just like, it just made sense at the time, you know, and I wasn't getting playtime on the Shock, and you know, everybody on the Shock wanted to see me play, but you know, how can I play when Sinatra's like the best Zarya in the league, right?
Right, exactly.
Or arguably the best. I think he's the best, but
right. Well, and I mean, so the New York Excelsior wins. Those were insane, and I mean, like, everyone's done interviews and breakdowns and whatever, but like, when you guys first beat them, what was that like when you won on stage and you guys won that? What was that experience like? Like, what was going through your heads?
I didn't even know we won. I mean, you can look at the VOD. I'm like, wait, we won? Like, but like going into that match, we all like, I don't know what it was, dude. Like, I had a dream beforehand that we were gonna win, and like everybody was in the mindset like, oh, we're gonna prove to everybody that, you know, we can take down these guys. And I think to this day we're still their only loss, right? In the normal.
Yeah, in the normal season.
That's absurd, you know. So
Yeah.
we came in so hungry for that win, dude. Like, and we played our hearts out, and you know, then we had to play them again back to back, and we did it again. So
right, yeah, and
it's like unreal, man.
Very good matchup for them for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like I definitely know. Like I was excited for our team as a whole to get those wins for sure. But yeah, I mean, even after the match, I just wanted to keep winning. Like in my head, like yeah, it's New York and stuff, and I was just like, that's great, and I'm glad my teammates are happy about it. But I was like, I just want to keep winning even more. So it's like,
right.
I was already focusing on the next aspect of it, I guess. But yeah, even in the interview section, I was asking. I saw Andrew Kim, I think his last name is, or whatever, their coach, and I saw Jonak, and I was like, hey, can we trade jerseys, Jonak? Can I have your jersey? And I was like, I think that was about it. That was like the extent of it. I was like, now I can ask Jonak for his jersey.
Right, exactly. What was the homestand like for you guys? Just like being there and experiencing that.
Man, I didn't think if you would have asked me like 10 years ago that like I would be able to play in front of a crowd for just me, because I've played in front of big crowds before, right? I went to international tournaments, but I never had a crowd there just for me.
Right.
And when I say like everybody had like an Atlanta Reign jersey, I'm like I actually mean it. Like everybody in the stands when we would play, it was packed, by the way, had a jersey on, and it was just so like almost surreal to see, and like yeah, it was just crazy. Like I just couldn't believe it. I didn't think, like, I knew Overwatch League was big, and I knew it was going to be big. And, like, yeah, there was talk about this, but for it to actually happen and you see it in front of your eyes, it's, like, almost, like, unbelievable. Like, you can't, like, I can't put words for it. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's, like, probably the best moment of my life was definitely during that homestand weekend. But yeah, coming into that homestand weekend, like, I was, like, thinking, I don't remember who I was talking to, but I pretty much said, like, if we can win these like last two games at homestand, then like that gives us some insane momentum going into the next stage. Just because like, if we had one loss or one win, like maybe we wouldn't have the momentum that we have now. But because we got those two wins, I mean, it's just like is the force that it's like sending us into like stage 4 gives us like a good, like really good like momentum coming into like this stage, and then not only the stage into the playoffs. So it's like, although we lost the last two stages, we're like in a perfect position to like make the comeback to the playoffs or whatever, and then do well in end of the year playoffs, hopefully.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think also the homestand was big for our team in the way of like motivation. Not that like we weren't motivated going into the homestand, but once you're there and you see how many people support you, it really puts things into perspective in your head. And I think each one of our players had a moment like this where it's like, holy shit, let's put all the BS and all these egos to the side, and like we need to win these games because this is what we're here to do, and these people came out here to see us do this. So like now that everybody has a taste of this, especially I feel like the Korean players on our team, they get a taste of like what this actually is and how big it is, because these are a lot of young guys that we have.
Right.
We have like very young, talented Korean players. Dogman's a pretty young guy too, and I think for them all to see this and just get a little taste of how big, you know, it actually is and how much it actually matters, really kicked everybody in gear, and we're like, yo, we're all in on this now.
Right.
You know, whereas like when you're down 0-5 in a stage and you're going into your next match, you're not sitting there like, oh, I'm all in on, you know, I'm not gonna go hard for these last two maps. These last two games, you know, I could just probably coast by because it's just Toronto, it's just mayhem, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But when we were there and we saw this, it really kicked us into a gear, and we like got like a fire back almost, you know.
Yeah. Well, on that, sorry, Malik, but like in that Toronto match, like maybe in like the past, like because we were like what 1-1, and then also they capped out 3-0 on Eichenwald, so like we were going on the attack. Like maybe in the past, like we probably even lose that map because like, you know, it's like, oh shit, they already capped out 3-0 on Eichenwald, you know, it's pretty demotivating realistically.
Right.
But we were still in it at that point, and we're like, it didn't matter that they capped out 3-0 on Eichenwald because we were still in the game as a whole. So it's like that, like I think that match specifically like showed that, like, you know, we've changed from the past. We're like, we can come back in the series, even though we're the favorites or whatever for match. We're not going to beat ourselves. Like, we're still going to be in the match, even down 3-0 on the third map that you could go down 2-1.
Mm-hmm. How do you guys feel? I mean, that's got to make you excited for next season, right? Going in, being able to play more than once at home.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the home team advantage, I definitely feel is insane, and especially with our fans. Our fans were like, just like honestly the best, I feel like. And I'm kind of excited to go to other people's homestands too and get booed.
Right.
I want to get booed. I want to get that feeling, dude. I want to know what it's like.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, poor Toronto, dude.
Too bad.
I mean, some people. How do you guys feel about that whole controversy that popped up when people were talking about booing at an esports event? I think it's fine. I think that it's good rivalry. How do you guys feel about that as players? With people booing. Obviously, Babybay, you seem to enjoy it.
I mean, dude, as a fan, like you should do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're supporting your team. You're not there to support the other team. And if booing can put the other team on edge or make them not clutch out in situations they should clutch in, or that they normally would clutch in, so be it, dude. That's the point. That's the whole point of like a home field advantage.
Yeah, it happens in every sport. It's like people, it's like the same people that get mad at like Twitch chat and stuff. People that get mad at people booing. It's like you can't control the fans in the stadium. You can't control Twitch chat. The biggest thing you're gonna do is just like censor and then also make people not enjoy the experience as much. So I think like the biggest thing for me personally is like is that people can enjoy their experience at these events, right? Because that's what's going to make people come back, is that like everybody at Homestand had a good time, and I want them to come back, and I think everybody wants them to come back and keep supporting us. So like these type of events are like, you can't control people booing and stuff. And I think like, although I feel bad for Toronto Mayhem getting booed, it was funny as hell seeing them do that. So it's like, it's cool to see that support. Like Dre said, it's like not out of hate for the other team. It's just because you're supporting your home team. And yeah.
So, and then I also wanted to ask you about your experience with the All-Stars, because that's got to be, huge for you.
It was fun. It was cool to see everyone in the back. I think at a certain point, this is after we beat NYXL twice. I think the coach of NYXL, or the coach of the Atlantic division, the team that I was on, I think Pavane even said, "You're better than Jonak" during that event. So that was pretty. That was pretty funny.
There you go.
But I mean, All Stars are just for fun, to be honest. I think right now it's I think not as like prestigious as something like World Cup is, for example.
Right.
So I think there's some work that could be done to make All Stars a little bit more prestigious. Like similar to the NBA, where their All Stars events like huge for you to get on it. So I mean, like, I don't think it was that big of a deal that I got All Stars. It's cool. I'm glad I got the jersey and stuff like that because it looks nice. So yeah, I don't know. I think hopefully they, if anything, this is a little bit of a ridicule on All Stars. I just hope All Stars becomes more of a prestigious event because right now I think like I got voted in All Stars, but just because my team wanted me in and everybody else wanted a break. So it's like it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. Right now, I hope it becomes something big.
It's kind of a meme. I think they need to make it more serious and put like a money prize on stuff.
Yeah,
they need to pump money into it to make it.
What is one of the like best experiences, or like one of the most impactful experiences that you've had with competitive gaming? Not just in Overwatch League, not just with Overwatch, just one of the most impactful experiences you've had, whether it's good, bad, things like that.
I think, like I said, that stuff I went through with the Shock Stage 1 earlier, how, I came in with really high expectations and then I didn't exceed those expectations that I had, and it got my mind into a funk, and like I was like depressed, and I started getting anxiety and stuff like this. And the fact that I was able to like take some time off and look at it from like a clear mind, and then learn something from it,
right? And
learn to keep my mentality in check and just my mental health my mental health awareness up. It I think that was huge on me in a good way, even though it was a bad thing, right?
Right.
And also, my other one is at this Homestand event. It was amazing. I had this little girl come up to me, and she comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, baby." This little girl, she had to be about like 8 or 7 or 8, like just a young girl. she's like, hey, baby, I really wanted to get your jersey, but it was sold out, and I wanted your autograph, you know. But I don't have your jersey, so I'm sorry. But I just wanted to tell you that you're a good player. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, like I felt like, you know, I had an extra jersey in my backpack, so I just gave it to her. I took it out, gave it to her, so like signed it and gave it to her, and yeah, I just think it was like that just felt really good. Right. I don't know.
That's amazing. That's cool.
Yeah,
that has to be.
It felt ridiculous. It really put it really made me realize how big we actually are and how much of an impact we actually have on not only like people that are playing our game, but like even younger generations of like kids and stuff.
Right.
It was like very surreal. It was so cool.
That's wow. It's amazing.
Let's see. So I have to think of what impactful situation now. Let's see. I think my biggest one is kind of a little different. I think like the biggest thing I realized, even though like, you know, coming in like with social media and whatever, like in this year, like I think I like took it. I tried to like take it not too seriously in the year, but like you can't like change how you actually feel, whatever. So like during the first like couple of stages, I probably let social media impact me way too much or whatever. Like, cause I used to be, so like there's a difference, I guess. Like I used to be like a like avid like Reddit user and shit. Like I used to be like super like into that stuff because I was a consumer. I wasn't like the person that had to deal with like a bunch of hate or whatever, you know. So it's like it was a different experience. Like every now and again, people on Reddit or whatever will be like get called out for like as a collective group. But like it won't impact those like people that bad really. It'll just be like, oh, they're not talking to me, but realistically they are talking to you or whatever. So it's like not that big of a deal. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So
look at Reddit as a pro player, dude.
that's why I stopped looking at it like at the beginning.
Dude.
Oh god.
At the beginning, I think even on the academy team I stopped looking at it. But
yeah,
anyway,
people are crazy.
Now I like those experiences and like seeing like I don't know and actually feeling like how bad social media can like impact you or whatever. Like I think I just learned to take it as a joke now, kind of. So I just like now for pretty much my entirety of my career, I feel like I'm just gonna troll on social media. I'm just gonna do some weird ass stuff. I don't know. I'm just gonna meme on people 24/7.
There you go.
And just treat it as fun because that's all really it is.
Yeah, you can't take it to heart.
But yeah, that was like my most actually, and in fact that homestand I even talked to like Avast and stuff or whatever, and he was like, take away Dogman's phones during the game, dude, because he should not be looking at social media. So it's like, even that was like kind of funny to see, and then it's like, all right, yeah, maybe it is just one big joke.
Right.
I had so much fun talking to Babybay and Dogman from the Atlanta Reign. I'm excited to see what they do in Stage 4 with the 2-2 rule lock, and I'm so excited to see them play at home next season. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is BackCap. I want to do more episodes of this, interview more players. Let me know what you guys think, what you liked, what you didn't like, and what we can make the show better, and let's see what the Atlanta Reign do tonight.